Our aim is, does improving teachers' digital technologies and ICT capacity increase student computer science knowledge and skills, particularly in the area of digital literacy? We decided to tackle it from the staff angle rather than from the students, because it was the fear of technology on the part of the teachers that was inhibiting any progress that our kids were going to make. The kids are all willing to give it a go. It was the teachers who were a bit standoffish. We've had iPads in the school for 5 years that weren't getting used. So we focused on them. Okay. I went earlier in the year and I've started doing the Teachers Can Code lead training. So coming back, we made it compulsory for all of our staff to start doing the modules. Even though the modules are developed mainly for year 3s and above, we told our teachers partly, they don't know what grades they'll be teaching in the future, but also they need to know where the kids are working towards. So we've had all of our teachers and all of admin complete module 1 and 2 of Teachers Can Code, and this term we're doing module 3. As way of us collecting evidence, we've asked all of our teachers to develop a portfolio over the year of anything that they're doing in class related to either the digital technologies curriculum or the ICT general capabilities. At this stage, we're not particularly looking for one or the other. If they are doing anything in regards to technology at the moment, we're taking what we can get. So it's been working really well so far. We've got a class that is starting at it from a lower level, and so they're just using Pic Collage, and they've been designing their own robots. So they're just starting to use the language of input and output. But there's normally 3 or 4 classes that can't get to it as a specialist subject. So this class were doing it in their own classroom. And so they were doing really well with bringing in the language into their classroom. They were looking at the input and output devices. They were looking at starting to write algorithms and look at the sequences of things. All the portfolios that were handed in were from our mainstream classrooms. We didn't get any portfolio items at this stage from any of the digital technologies classes. They were all from classes that are trying to do it themselves, which is a massive step up from where we were. Some of the challenges we face, as I said, my timetable was collapsed with having to be in the office, but we've restarted it again this term. And this term, it's more getting into classrooms and not in the computer lab. When we started talking to the teachers about having to do the Teachers Can Code PL, because we've also asked them to do the CSER MOOC course, there was a bit of panic and reluctance about having to do so many PL hours for a subject that they are not having to specifically teach because we have a specialist teacher. We're actually starting to get people now to look at the differences between digital technologies and ICT, whereas when we started, people didn't even know what I was talking about with the ICT general capabilities. So they're now starting to think about whether something is part of the curriculum or whether something is a general capability. There are people who have not used their iPads at all in the last 5 years, that they are now starting to use them, and they're now starting to speak to other staff about what they can do to integrate it into their classroom. So we've, seen a massive willingness for people to incorporate technology, and so that's huge for some of our staff. So so we're doing module 3 for the teachers can code this term. Same thing. It will be half in dot, half after school. My support timetable has been reintroduced, and we've actually got our most unwilling staff are the ones that are really eager and are contacting me to do more with their iPads this term. We're looking at doing our own in-school Beaverus challenge this term. We've already got the year 3s and 4s organised. We've just got to finalise the year 5 and 6 ones, so we can look at doing that in probably week 9 or 10.
Things have certainly changed there from when we first met this time last year, and down to you, I think, because your skills and pardon?
It's changed in a big way, and it's mainly been the last, I would say, 6 weeks.
So remember having conversations with you in Kalgoorlie last year about your concerns about the level of teacher engagement. So really pleasing to see how much you've had a shift there, and certainly being able to sort of explore those differences between ICT capability and digital tech. And just I think some of the work samples, we're really interested to have a good look at those, and I think that's a really good way to capture the growth that you're going to see in that project. So great work.
I just wanted to say it was nice to include that you included the work samples in. I didn't think of doing that in mine, and I kind of thought, it really makes it really interesting.